Hey there, welcome back. It's so nice to see you again in our calm little space of stories and soft dreams. Here we share relaxing tales to slow your heart and ease your mind. If you love peaceful nights and gentle words, don't forget to subscribe and stay close. There's always another story waiting for you. The Slow Tide. Healing Fiction Novel. Chapter 11. The Opening. The day of the art show, Maya woke to rain. Not the gentle mist that often blanketed Thornberry Bay, but a proper downpour that hammered against her window and turned the ocean into a blur of gray motion. She lay in bed listening to it, feeling oddly calm despite the fact that in 8 hours, strangers would be looking at her most vulnerable work. Or maybe no one would come. Maybe the rain would keep people away. Maybe she'd stand in an empty library, her painting hanging unnoticed, and that would be its own kind of relief. Except it wouldn't be relief. It would be disappointment. Because somewhere in the past weeks, Maya had stopped wanting to hide and started wanting to be seen. The shift was subtle but profound. 6 weeks ago, visibility had felt like exposure, like standing naked in a spotlight. Now it felt like connection, like offering a piece of herself and trusting that someone might recognize themselves in it. Helen knocked softly and entered with coffee, her hair damp from being outside. "Storm's supposed to clear by afternoon," she said, setting the cup on Maya's table. "Good thing too. Half the town's planning to come tonight. Margaret's already called twice to make sure we have enough chairs." Half the town. Maya's stomach flipped. That's like a lot of people. 90 maybe. We're not San Francisco. Helen sat on the edge of the bed. "But yes, people are excited. We don't get much new art here. And everyone's been watching you heal, watching you become. They want to celebrate that with you. What if they hate it? They won't. But even if they do, so what? You made something honest. You were brave enough to share it. That's what matters." Helen paused. "You know what I've learned from 40 years of watching people? That the ones who judge harshest are the ones too afraid to be vulnerable themselves. The people whose opinions matter. They'll see your courage and respect it." After Helen left, Maya showered and stood in front of her closet, trying to decide what to wear to your own terrifying debut as an honest artist. In San Francisco, she'd had professional clothes. Sharp blazers, designer dresses, outfits that announced competence and control. Here she had jeans and sweaters and one nice dress she'd bought on impulse in town last week. She chose the dress. Deep blue, simple, comfortable. Not armor, just clothes. The morning passed in a haze of nervous energy. Maya tried to paint but couldn't focus. Tried to read but couldn't absorb the words. Finally, she gave up and walked to the beach despite the rain, needing the ocean's steadiness to calm her racing thoughts. The beach was empty, the tide high, waves crashing with impressive force. Maya stood at the water's edge, rain soaking through her jacket, and thought about transformation. How 6 weeks ago, she'd driven here desperate and depleted, convinced she was disappearing. How she'd spent weeks learning to be still, to notice, to exist without purpose. And now here she was, about to show people the evidence of her becoming. About to stand in a room and own the fact that she'd chosen healing over achievement, small over impressive, truth over polish. That took more courage than climbing any corporate ladder ever had. Maya! She turned to find Daniel approaching, equally rain-soaked. He was supposed to be at work, but here he was, showing up when she needed steadiness even though she hadn't asked for it. "Shouldn't you be at the sanctuary?" she asked. "Jesse's covering for me. I figured you might need company. Or at least someone to stand in the rain with." He stopped beside her, close enough that their shoulders touched. "How are you feeling?" "Terrified. Excited. Like I might throw up." Maya laughed shakily. "All of the above. That sounds about right." Daniel was quiet for a moment, watching the waves. "Can I tell you something? The night before I left academia, I was convinced I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Throwing away 15 years of work, disappointing everyone who'd believed in me, proving that I was weak and incapable of handling pressure. What changed your mind?" "I didn't change my mind. I left anyway, even though I was terrified, even though I was convinced I was ruining my life." He turned to face her. "And you know what I learned? That the things that scare us most are usually the things we need to do. That courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing the thing anyway because it matters more than the fear. Tonight matters more than the fear," Maya said softly. "Exactly. You could hide your paintings forever. Keep them private. Never risk judgment or rejection. But then no one would ever see them. No one would ever be moved by them. And you'd never know what it feels like to be witnessed in your full, imperfect, becoming self." Maya thought about the painting hanging in the library, the people gathered around the table, sharing presents. That's what tonight was. Being present, being witnessed, being brave enough to show up as herself. "Thank you," she said, "for coming to find me. For knowing I needed this. Always." He took her hand, his fingers cold but steady. "Come on. Let's get out of this rain before we both catch pneumonia. I'll buy you terrible diner coffee and we'll talk about anything except the show until it's time." They spent the afternoon at the kettle, drinking coffee and playing cards with Tom and Ruth. The normalcy was grounding. The familiar rhythms, the easy conversation, the way no one made a big deal out of what was coming. They just kept her company, kept her present, kept her from spiraling into anxiety. By the time evening approached, the rain had stopped as promised, leaving everything clean and glistening. Maya went back to the inn to change, and found Sienna waiting in the lobby wearing a bright red dress and an enormous smile. "Ready?" Sienna asked. "No, but I'm doing it anyway." "That's my girl." Sienna linked their arms. "Come on. Let's go be brave together." The library was already crowded when they arrived. People holding wine glasses, examining artwork, talking in the hushed tones that art spaces seemed to inspire. Maya spotted her painting immediately, illuminated by the warm afternoon light that was now being replicated by carefully positioned lamps. And people were looking at it, actually looking at it, standing in front of it. Some for just a moment before moving on, but others stood for minutes, studying it with expressions Maya couldn't quite read. "Go mingle," Sienna urged. "Accept compliments. Be gracious. I'll be right here if you need rescue." Maya moved through the space slowly, accepting congratulations from people she'd met at the bonfire and potluck, answering questions about her process, her inspiration. Most people were kind, genuinely interested. A few comments stung. Interesting technique, said in a way that meant needs improvement. But Maya reminded herself that perfection wasn't the goal. Honesty was. She found herself in front of her own painting, seeing it through fresh eyes now that it was public. The figures around the table were rendered simply, almost childlike in their execution. The colors were emotional rather than realistic. Technically, it was amateur work, but emotionally, it was true. It captured something real about connection, about belonging, about the healing that happened when people gathered without agenda or performance. It might not be good art by conventional standards, but it was honest art, and that counted for something. "Excuse me, are you the artist?" Maya turned to find a woman in her 50s, elegantly dressed, studying her with intelligent eyes. "Yes, Maya Torres. I'm Catherine Reeves. I own a gallery in San Luis Obispo." She gestured to the painting. "This is remarkable. Raw, yes, and technically unsophisticated. But emotionally, it's powerful. It tells a story about belonging that I think a lot of people need to hear right now." Maya's heart hammered. "Thank you. That means a lot. I'd like to talk with you about possibly showing more work. Not in my main gallery. This style isn't quite right for that space. But I'm opening a small secondary location focused on emerging and folk artists. Work that prioritizes emotional truth over technical mastery. I think your pieces would fit beautifully. I don't have many pieces. And I'm not trained, not really. I just paint what I feel. That's exactly what makes it compelling." Catherine handed her a business card. "Think about it. No pressure. But if you're interested in developing your work, in sharing it with a broader audience, I'd love to help facilitate that." After Catherine moved on, Maya stood holding the business card, her mind reeling. This wasn't a corporate job offer demanding she return to who she'd been. This was an invitation to become more fully who she was becoming, to develop her art without compromising its honesty, to build something new from the foundation of her healing. "Maya!" Helen appeared at her elbow. "People are asking about your other paintings. I may have mentioned you have more at the inn. Was that overstepping?" "No, it's..." Maya laughed, overwhelmed. "I don't know what it is. Someone from a gallery wants to show my work." "A gallery, Helen?" "Of course she does. Your work is beautiful." Helen squeezed her arm. "This is what happens when you're brave. The universe responds." The evening continued in a blur of conversation and wine and people pausing in front of her painting. Not everyone loved it. She overheard one couple calling it too sentimental. But enough people did. Enough people stood in front of it and smiled with recognition, or grew quiet with emotion, or asked her questions that suggested they truly understood what she'd been trying to express. And that was enough. More than enough. Daniel found her near the end of the evening, when the crowd had thinned and people were starting to drift away. "How are you doing?" "I did it. I showed up as myself and the world didn't end. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. And I'm okay with both." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. Happy tears, relieved tears, proud tears. "I'm actually okay." "You're more than okay. You were magnificent." Daniel hesitated, then added, "That dinner I mentioned, are you still interested?" Because I'm thinking we should celebrate. Yes, definitely yes. Maya smiled up at him. Though fair warning, I might cry more. It's been an emotional night. Crying so loud, encouraged even, shows you're alive. He offered his arm. Come on, let's go to the fancy seafood place. The one with actual tablecloths. You deserve to celebrate properly. They said goodbye to Sienna and Helen, accepted hugs and congratulations from Margaret and Tom and Ruth. As they walked out into the clear night, stars bright overhead, Maya felt something settle into place. Not answers about her entire future. Not certainty about what came next. Just the quiet knowing that she'd done something brave and survived it. That she'd been witnessed and accepted. That she was building a life that felt real instead of impressive. The restaurant was small and elegant, perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean. They got a table by the window, where they could watch moonlight dance on the water while they ate fresh fish and drank wine and talked about everything and nothing. Can I ask you something? Daniel said as they shared dessert. Chocolate cake that was almost absurdly good. Always. What are you going to do? With the gallery offer? With your life? With all of it? Maya took a sip of wine, considering. I don't know. Not completely. But I think I want to stay here. At least for a while longer. Keep painting. See where it goes. Maybe take the gallery up on their offer if it feels right. He paused. Is that crazy? Choosing to stay in a dying town instead of going back to the city where there are more opportunities. It's not crazy. It's choosing quality of life over quantity of opportunities. That's wisdom, not weakness. Daniel reached across the table, taking her hand. And for what it's worth, I'm glad you're staying. Selfishly glad because I want to see where this goes. But also just glad because I think you're happy here. Happier than you'd be anywhere else right now. I am happy. Not all the time. I still have hard days, still doubt myself, still get scared. But the baseline is different. I wake up and feel alive instead of anxious. I go to bed satisfied instead of depleted. That's worth more than any career advancement. They finished dinner slowly, savoring the food and conversation and the simple pleasure of being together without agenda. When Daniel walked her back to the inn, he stopped at the entrance, taking both her hands in his. Thank you, he said, for tonight, for letting me be part of your celebration, for being brave enough to share your work, your becoming, your truth. Thank you for witnessing it, for seeing me clearly and liking what you see. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away if she wanted. But Maya didn't want to pull away. She wanted this gentle, honest connection with someone who understood becoming because he was becoming too. The kiss was soft, unhurried, full of promise but not pressure. When they pulled apart, both smiling, Maya felt something in her chest expand. Not the desperate grasping of her relationship with Marcus, but something calmer, deeper, real. Good night, Maya, Daniel said softly. Good night. She watched him walk away, then climbed the stairs to her room. The paintings on her walls greeted her like old friends, evidence of her journey from drowning to swimming, from hiding to being seen, from performing to existing honestly. Maya changed into pajamas and stood at her window, looking out at the ocean. The same ocean that had been here when she arrived 6 weeks ago. desperate and depleted. The same ocean that had witnessed her slow transformation from someone barely surviving to someone actually living. She thought about Catherine's offer, about the possibility of showing her work more widely, about the life she was building here. Small, quiet, meaningful. About Daniel and the tentative beginning of something real. About community and belonging and the radical act of choosing herself day after day. She didn't have everything figured out. Probably never would. But she was no longer drowning. She was swimming, building something new from the wreckage of who she'd been. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. Maya climbed into bed, pulled the lavender-scented sheets up to her chin, and fell asleep to the sound of the ocean's eternal rhythm. The waves that came and went, persistent and patient, and proof that transformation was always possible. That becoming never ended. That every ending was also a beginning. And that sometimes the bravest thing you could do was stay still long enough to discover who you actually were beneath all the noise. She was Maya, still imperfect, still uncertain, still becoming, and finally truly, completely enough.